Hello. Failure happens to us every day, and yet we are resisting it so much. We don't like it, we are afraid of it. It is because of all the pressure to succeed. We are pressured at home, at work, at school, everywhere. Most of the people that gives us tasks don't want us to fail. They may get angry, they may shout or swear at us. Also, we are pressuring ourselves, and all this pressure is creating a counterproductive effect of us trying to avoid failure, and we are forgetting what failure can give us. I know what failure gives me, and that's why I want to fail. I fail many times every day, and I'm glad to do it. For me, to fail is just to experiment. Now, this is how I see doing new things. I start to do a thing. I'm experiment with it. If I fail, I try to observe my failure, extract as much information as I can. This way I learn to find a solution and in the end to come to success. Now, I look at everything in this way. And I try not to pressure myself to come to solution quickly, because I know eventually the solution and the success will come. Sometimes we have a limited amount of time. Then I just do my best at that time. And people always say, do your best, but they forget to add, do your best at that time, within that limited amount of time. And I think it's very important to remember this second part, because if you do your best at that time, you should have no regrets, right? And if you didn't do your best, just remember that mistake and don't repeat it next time. Now, failure is unavoidable because there would be no progress without failure. How could we learn without failing? How could we learn even to walk without failing? How could we research and develop new ways of doing things without failure? So there are few reasons why we unavoidably fail, beside pressure to succeed. One of them is lack of awareness. For example, when you are doing something or when you're walking and you hit your arm or leg or head at something, or when you trip and fall, or when you slip and fall, or when you are carrying something and you drop it and it breaks, or when you buy a wrong thing at the store. So the solution is very simple. Just pay more attention to what you are doing. That way you will fail less. But more importantly, if you fail and you observed your failure with more attention, you will see more details, you will gather more information to be able to learn from that and to find the solution more quickly. Now, another reason why we fail is lack of information. For example, when you get lost, you lost the information of where you are. Now, these days, the solution is very simple. You just take your smartphone, open up Google Maps, and you get the information. Now, without the smartphone, it's much trickier to get the information. But usually, the reason why we fail because of the lack of information is when we are doing something new. For example, you need to do something new at work. You are given a task, but you don't have much information of how to do it. Now you can ask for more information or search for more information, or just do it with the information you have. And this may result in a failure or lower quality of work. The main important thing to remember then is still just do your best with the information you have and pay attention to what you're doing, because you may find a new solution, better solution to do better job next time. I know we are pressured a lot at home, at work, at school. We are pressured by our parents, bosses, and teachers. But the way I see it, if someone is pressuring me, that is their problem. Because I know, and I try to remember that if I stay calm, even if they get angry, I should stay calm, because my performance will be better, because I will find the solution more quickly. Even if I don't know how to do a thing, I should still stay calm. And if you are in a reverse role, if you are giving a task to someone or trying to teach them, you should try to give them as much information as you can. And of course, not pressuring them. And this is especially important, I think, for children. If you are teaching children, do not pressure them, because this pressure will make them perform worse. And you do not want to make children get used to performing worse. So another important thing to consider when giving information or receiving them is a possibility of misinterpretation. Now, the person who is receiving information may interpret it differently than intended, and that will bring mistakes and failures. So we should not just get angry because of that and just fix the mistake. The next reason for why we fail is lack of skill. To develop a skill, it takes a lot of time and a lot of experimentation. Currently, the skill that I'm developing is making these YouTube videos. I'm learning how to do script better, what to say when. I'm learning to speak more naturally in front of the camera. And I'm learning to try to improvise when I get stuck at something, yeah. And I'm trying to do this all in one take. I'm trying to create the whole monologue in one take, because I think this will make me a better speaker, which is also one of the reasons why I'm making these videos. And while I'm making these videos, I fail many times, and I have to do it over and over again. But after making a video, I examine it and I think about it extensively later and try to improve for my next video. But it doesn't work always, because I think my second video was worse than my first video. I think it's too long. I said some things that I didn't need to say, and I forgot to say other things. But I learned much more from my second video. And I had a limited amount of time to prepare and to make video. So I think the video is still good enough. I think it's still useful to listen to. Now I could make it better, and put it a few weeks later. But I think it's best to just finish your projects and move to the next ones. And another reason why we fail is because we forget. For example, you forget to do something you were planning to do, or forget to call someone or meet with someone, or forget to turn off the stove, or forget to buy something at the store. So the solution for this is very simple. Write the things you need to do, or actually if you pay more attention to what you're doing, you will forget less. But you still can write things you need to do. And I have my to-do list in a document I regularly update, and I look at it about the things I need to do later. And I use an alarm clock or a calendar clock that reminds me at the exact relevant time for that information. So you see, there's always a solution to every failure. And if you're not pressured to succeed, you will find that solution. I have no pressure to succeed because I know what experimentation can give me. And I enjoy improvising and experimenting a lot. And sometimes I do it too much, actually. And for me, it's important to recognize when is the time to do my best. Just do my best then. But at other times, I can experiment and try to find new ways of doing things, to find different and better solutions. And I don't think I'm a very smart person, because I see a lot of people around me finding solutions more quickly than me. But I don't quit at searching for solutions. So eventually I find the solutions. And even sometimes when the things are considered to be impossible, I still want to think about it a lot and experiment with it before I decide that it cannot be done at that time. But sometimes even the impossible things, I find ways to do it. So impossible in other people's eyes, because they are limiting themselves too fast. They try few things, or they try once or twice and think it's impossible, and they just quit. But not me. I like finding solutions. So regarding failures, people say it's best to learn from other people's mistakes. And I would agree with that only if the cost of the mistake is great, if the harm done or damage done is great. But if it's not, I think it's better to try things for ourselves and learn from our failures, because there's so much detail and so much information we can gather and trying things for ourselves, and we'll learn better that way and find solutions, much more solutions that way. So there's one more thing I wanted to say. After you gather information, it is important to process that information to be able to find a solution. And for me, taking a long walk outside helps with that. I feel that my thinking is much clearer when I'm in nature and in movement. That's all. I wrote more about failure in my book. You can check out for more details about the book in the description. If you think this video is interesting and useful, share it with someone. Thank you for listening, and remember, try not repeating your mistakes and never give up after the first failure.